Hello everybody. Today I'm looking at a build. This is going to be a full-on analysis, a build analysis of the Fencer. What prompted me to make this video is fellow Battle Brothers YouTuber Puggo Reborn did a build guide on his Fencer. I think he posted it about like 3 days ago. I'm in contact with him, so he told me he was working on it. He said, Carve, check out the Fencer. And I'm like, alright, I'll check out the Fencer, so I have. And then he also recently posted beating the Mad Barbarian with the Fencer. So it's really got me thinking, like, how viable is this Fencer for Battle Brothers? Like, is this really a good build? So I have a few questions I want to answer with this analysis. So this is going to be pretty in-depth. This video is going to consist of me going over the build right here and the stats and how I built them. Then there's going to be various clips. I think I have like 25 total clips of like a minute or so, or less, of going through different fights I had. There's a goblin fight, there's a noble fight, brigands, barbarians, and just testing out like what makes this build work. Is it really good? What does it work well against? What doesn't it work well against? What am I annoyed by? And then at the end, I'm gonna do a concluding part where we're gonna really put an answer to those questions. The questions that I want to ask right now are: 1, is this build fun? That's cool. Question 2 is this build a novelty build, or is it like actually something you would want to, like, you should build this and something you need to have on your roster? And 3, I'm gonna say, is it really good at specific rules? Does it fill a niche that you need? Does it kill specific enemies? I'm thinking, you use footwork and you use the lunge ability. Can you get those backline enemies? Can you get the Necromancers? Or can you get like some archers, like an Arbalister? Can you get like some priority goblin units? There's like stuff like that. Is it really good at that, or is that just kind of talk? Those are the 3 questions I wanna answer. But right now, we are just gonna look at the build. So the Fencer is a nimble frontline build. He takes Student, takes Colossus because he's nimble, takes Dodge because this is an initiative build. The Fencing Sword, if you're unaware, it has the regular slash ability, but then it also has the lunge ability, which is kind of like you take footwork and put it into an attack. So you basically footwork into people's zone of control and hit them, and you do more damage and ignore more armor relative to your initiative level. So you want really high initiative. You want a max initiative. So you want dodge. Dodge means you must take relentless. You obviously want sword mastery because you need to. This is a very, very, very stam intensive build. You want nimble because you need the light armor for the stam and for the initiative. You want berserk. You absolutely want berserk for this build. There is no way you don't want berserk. You want killing frenzy. This build is a little bit weak on damage, but killing frenzy can help that. And then duelist. You absolutely need duelist as well. And then I take footwork as my final perk. Would I go without footwork? I don't know. Would I take Overwhelm? No, I don't think I would take Overwhelm. Some other things in Puggo's video. What does he talk about? He took Gift. He did not take Berserk and Recover. I think you need Berserk and Recover. Berserk, the amount of AP that you get from this build, like sometimes to lunge, you need to start away from an enemy. So if you don't, you lunge into them, and then if you don't have Berserk, and if you don't kill them, you don't get any more AP, so your whole turn is just walking forward 1 and attacking, and that's really lame. So you definitely need Berserk. Berserk means you do need Recover. This is such a stam intensive build, you need Recover. I believe he took Overwhelm. I don't really like Overwhelm because I think this build shines best against enemies that he can just like cut down, and when he cuts them down, they're not even alive for Overwhelm, so it doesn't matter. You don't bring this guy against people that are going to live for a long time. So you don't need Overwhelm. You don't bring him in front of an Orc Warlord Because he's not going to kill the Orc Warlord. You're not sitting this dude in front of an Orc Warlord. And the Orc Warlord will last long enough to where Overwhelm actually matters. So that's true. You could take Lone Wolf. That is very true. You really well could take Lone Wolf. But again, I don't play, and I guess he's been far enough away from people to where Lone Wolf has been helpful, but it's not damage. If it gave him more damage, that'd be something, but I don't think he really needs the defense. The defense he gets from dodge is really, really strong. He gets, at minimum, I want to say 15 melee defense and range defense from dodge when he's totally stammed out, which gets him to up to 54. And when he's maxed, I believe it's like 20 dodge, so it gets him up to 59. So it's really, really good. Now for equipment, you want nimble. You want as light nimble as you can get. I got 7, 8. You could even go Sallet helmet, but I would rather take the 40 extra head armor and the just for the 2 stam. I think that's good. You could go with like a light helmet like this. That totally works as well. I mean, you could like totally lighten this guy up, get up to 132 initiative, right? Oh no, well he would be a plus 15 because this doesn't have the hyena attachment, so it'd be 147 initiative, which is a little bit higher than what I have right now. But like I was saying, you want the hyena attachment, which gives you plus 15 initiative. That is huge. That is essential to this build. You obviously are using a fencing sword. Puggo in his video talked about he has quick hands, and then what he would want to do is he wanted to quick hands into a dagger, but he didn't take it. He was thinking dagger spec, and I could see that working. I don't know what you would do. You'd drop footwork, you'd probably drop killing frenzy, and then you would take dagger spec and quick hands. I don't think that's worth it, but like I could see where the 3 AP. I've had moments where 3 AP is left, so that is like all right. Then he also thought about a noble sword. You know, you just like this attack here, the slash attack is pretty shit. So you just switch to a noble sword, and then you can do more damage that way. Cool and all, but if you're slashing a lot with this build, I don't think you're doing it right, or the build itself has something wrong with it, because this build should be dancing. Should be dancing around and using the lunge ability. So you shouldn't have to. You should slash when you kill recover. When you kill proc berserk and recover, that's when you slash, or when you need to finish somebody off. You lunge, don't kill him, you slash, then you proc berserk, get 4 more AP, and then you lunge again with killing frenzy. That's when you would slash, and you don't really need quick hands for a fucking noble sword for that, because you can't switch back and use the fencing sword again. So stick with your fencing sword. It's a really simple build. I mean, you could throw a fucking dagger here if you want to. I wouldn't. I don't think it really matters. This is not an early game build. The fencing sword is a weapon you have to buy or you have to find. I don't even think you could maybe find it on a sword master, but I think you have to buy this, which means it's a late game build, because you're not buying fencing swords when you could be buying armor. You could be buying like great axes. You could be buying the other legendary weapons that are more conventional. So when you're late game, you don't need to be farming armor, so I wouldn't take anything else. I think this is just the way to go. I want to say I won't really be doing much more of an analysis now because I'll do so much more in the clips. But remember, the 3 questions we're going into is this build fun? Is it just a novelty, or is it something that you could really bring to your team? And then, is it really good at killing these backline enemies, these priority targets, or is that just kind of a myth? Let's go into the clips right now. Alright, so I'm moving my entire team up, even though I'm going to let these guys get the extra attacks, like these fucking crossbows. By moving up, I'm giving my fencer more support so they don't all just hit the fencer, because the fencer, these guys didn't pass their turns. The fencer had to pass his turn because he just acts so quickly. So everyone would just shoot the fencer, and then odds are he'd get, get hit, or he'd at least just get a bunch of stam on him because of having to dodge all the attacks. So this looks like the perfect opportunity. I'm hoping we're able to kill this brigand right here. We've softened him up with the crossbow so the fencing sword can get that clean kill right there. This is what we're looking for. So we have 97 aim. I'm hoping we're able to kill this guy. Perfect. Alright, let's get that. And we ended up missing this dude. But let's say we killed this guy right here. This would be super, super strong. We could have just gotten 3 kills in a row, and we're in the enemy lines. We're almost fatigued out, and we still get 16 melee defense from dodge. still putting us at above 50. So that's awesome. Fucking great. Alright, let's just see how the sword here does. Almost... Alright. We almost one-shot the Brigand, which is not terrible. I think that's probably comparable to a regular duelist like this. So we're almost entirely stammed out. What I want to do now is I want to take a look. Alright, so we're getting 0 to 51 can ignore here. 0 to 65 can ignore on lunge with my... I want to say this is using my current fatigue. I believe it does, because when I'm maxed out, I get about like 0 to 71. My initiative is still so freaking high that I'm able to do this. All right, let's look at this. All right, 0 to 65 can ignore armor, 71 to 103. Now let's take a look at this is like a max roll orc cleaver, doing 65 to 113. All right, 65 113. 71 103. So better min damage, not as good max damage. Then we have 0 to 66 can ignore armor, with a 34% ignore armor on duelist. Same thing right here with 34% actually, and getting 0 to 65, and this is at minimum when he's already fatigued out, so no more fencing. So the worst, the ignore armor here, like the worst, is as good as this fucking orc cleaver. 71 to 125 for armor here. This is pretty terrible. It's 53 to 77. The armor damage here is really bad. But the armor ignore is what you do this for. So you're getting really, really solid damage. Even here, 0 to 51, like the actual armor damage again is terrible, but you're getting pretty good actual ignore armor damage. I want to also note that there is no there's no bleed. Obviously a cleaver inflicts bleed, and this thing doesn't. But we're seeing that a fencing sword is actually quite comparable to a regular duelist weapon. Now, it's definitely worth noting that while at max fatigue right here, let's take a look here, 64, so it is scaling currently. He doesn't have underdog. So while he has 53 melee defense, because he's getting 15 from dodge, at bare minimum, 15 from dodge, he doesn't have underdog. So getting in a position like this is actually quite weak. This dude here, this duelist with I want to say 40, he's got 40, but he has underdog, would actually be better suited to be in here. So getting surrounded like this is quite terrible. Normally, what I would love to do with the fencer is I would bring him around the side over here. He's not going to get surrounded. But for the sake of this demonstration, I just wanted to. This was the way in with the way that the freaking terrain with the palisades work. So I threw him right in the middle, and he was able to do really good work. And he's okay right now. He's going to have to recover next turn, but he is getting the shit kicked out of him. So he's probably going to need to rotate very soon. And for my final demonstration, let's kick the shit out of Urban Goodman. All right, we're probably going to hit his body, so his body armor's untouched. Went down to about half. Pretty good. That would have killed. He has 9 lives, so it doesn't kill him. But in 2 hits, we did like really rip the shit out of his armor. So that's really good. So overall, this was actually like a really solid build. We're gonna win this in about a turn, and then we're gonna look at the post-battle stats and see how we did. All right, taking a quick look at this, we got 603 damage, which is pretty comparable to Axe did more, Cleaver did more. That's it. That's actually really good. 3 kills is, again, seconds. Who's top 3 on the team? This is a fencer. So, like, that's good. You wouldn't expect the fencer to be doing this. So, in these brigand fights, and the same thing with nomads, it's actually really, really high quality human enemies with the good ignore armor, and the morale breaking as well is key to this. It's really good in these human fights. Alright, what I want to note right here is that he actually goes before goblins. So what I'm going to do is, I love that the fucking caravan guards are here, but what he's going to do is he's going to move forward 1. Now, so this is the way I saw this from Filthy Robot. So I'm not like calling this my strategy, but to avoid goblin shamans rooting your entire team, you break up into little quadrants like this. Quadrangles, whatever you want to call them. And then he only roots adjacent people. So then you can only get 4 people rooted at a time. So these 4 get rooted, they move up a little bit, or they don't move up at all, but the rest of the team can move up, and it's fine. But so this guy moving forward means the goblin's not gonna root one dude, right? Like, not gonna happen. So he actually can do this, and then when he acts before goblins anyway, so what he does is the goblins move up, and he'll move here at the end of this turn. He'll just do this. Then next turn, he can just go beat the shit out of them. So that's really strong. Alright, well it turns out that they just ran into him. So let's do this. What do we want to do? We want to run onto the skirmishers? That could be something. I could see that being fun. Want to play some? Let's have some fun with the skirmishers. Let's see how this is gonna go. Oh, they're running. They're running. They're smart. I think it's fine though. If anything. Oh, the fools. The fools. Oh, they're foolish. All right. Oh, maybe they're not so foolish. We'll have to see. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Damn, that guy did it. Alright. Fuck you. Okay, so we we murked this dude, and then half killed a fucking champion. It went all the way through his armor, and he's half dead, and he's a champion. So this was like a normal, he'd be dead if he wasn't a champion. And so we just fucking murked him. And imagine if this guy didn't go here. We would have murked this dude, then we would have jumped to like here, and would have jumped and killed the shaman. That's so strong. Oh man, we love this. The other good thing is about if there are ambushers, if they ever have overwhelm, then it wouldn't affect them because he acts before them all. So that's really good. All right, so game plan. We're gonna fucking murk this dude. Then we're gonna miss him. And then, do you want to get on to? We were supposed to kill the overseer here. That's a little sad. So we could A, kill the ambusher. B, actually no, fuck the ambusher. Fuck that guy. All right, we're gonna kill. I don't really give a shit. We're gonna kill that guy. All right. C, we could have killed the overseer, assuming we hit. What did we miss on with the overseer? Well, 92. That sucks. But so what I want to talk about here is what you can do is you can kill priority backline units. The issue is, what fucking priority backline units are there? I actually managed to kill the shaman because he ran up like a moron, so I just bolted him with crossbows. You could have killed the overseer, so we'll give him a point. We'll say he killed the overseer. So the overseer, the shaman, necromancers could work. There's no way you're getting to an ancient priest. I guess the ancient priest could count, but like, good luck getting that. Good luck getting to a necromancer while you're at it. But like, we'll just say those exist. You get to priority backline units like this ambusher. I don't really give a shit about killing this one ambusher. That means nothing to me. Killing this ambusher. Killing that ambusher means nothing. That ambusher means nothing. These are like chaff. They're trash mobs. Killing a brigand marksman. Trash mob. Like, these aren't like, that's the thing of the fencer. It's, oh my god, you can weave through the enemy and kill these units. But like this one ambusher, the odds that this one ambusher was gonna do something like this round that I just amazingly stopped. Like, this ambusher was low. This ambusher wasn't gonna change the course of the battle. Odds are, like, maybe he poisoned someone and then we would have lost people. Like, who knows? But odds are no. So odds are the fencer really isn't actually getting a lot of priority kills. He would have. Let's say we can give him the overseer, and maybe we can say noble arbalisters. But like, what the hell is he gonna do in a barbarian fight? Go kill the fucking drummers? Like, no. When in the history of the world do you guys even kill drummers? They just run away. They're fucking useless. The Beastmaster, maybe. I guess you could maybe kill the Beastmaster, but no way in shit am I sending this dude behind a line of chosen. He's gonna die. They're just gonna run after him. So, like, while this is a really cool maneuver, being able to like dance and dance and dance, you're not actually, like, at the end of the day, I could have not done this, and I could have just, I'm gonna kill the shaman this turn regardless. Oh, I won't kill this one ambusher. I don't give a fuck. This guy would just crossbow the hell out of this skirmisher, and nothing's really changed. And if anything, I've just brought another crossbow dude, or another, you know, like another two-hander, or a polearm guy who can just do the same work anyway. It might take him an extra turn. But the Fencer is a luxury build. It's not really like a game changer, you know? It's not changing the course of these fights. It's just like a novelty way to kill some backline units that really isn't that useful at the end of the day. Alright, so what do we have here? This is one of the other issues is, one, you get netted. So you lose your initiative, you lose your melee defense. Like, okay, fine, you get netted. But then, like, you have to break the net, and then you're out of stam, and you have people on you. Like, luckily it's just fucking goblin, so it's not that big of a deal. But nevertheless, like, it's kind of just annoying. Like, once he's done the maneuver, he has to, like, he got netted, so now it's 2 turns to recover. Normally it would just be 1 turn. He would just recover and then go back into the thing, and he would just jump and, like, deck this fucking dude. But now he's sitting here for the rest of the fight. Like, this was his fight. His fight was running up, killing a skirmisher, missing an overseer, and killing an ambusher. And now he's kind of done. Maybe I played this poorly, but, like, this is what the fencing game is about, right? It's running through the lines. But he's, like, stammed out like it's no fucking tomorrow, and it's been 3 rounds. And he's not going to do anything round 4 unless he just slashes once. But, like, this dude's going to kill him. So he's really out of the fight after his, like, maneuver, which is a little sad. Alright, let's take a look at this. 328 damage, 3 kills, like... alright. He did better, he did better. He did basically the same. He did better, he did better. This guy didn't... Alright, so he's, like, halfway up the team, and, like, 328 to 299, he's pretty comparable to the rest of the team. So we did okay. He ended up getting 1 more kill after the last clip. But, like, this is like, oh, he ran through, and it looked really cool. He looks like a badass when he does it, and he looks, like, super, like, fancy and whatever, but it's just not necessary. You don't need a fencer. You never are gonna be like, man, I need a fencer. It's a fun build, but it's not really a, like, certainly not a meta build, but that's fine. People don't need to play meta, but it's just not like, it's so situational, and I feel like it's a lot more fun and novelty than it really is, like, practical. For a long fight, like a 4-round fight, he did fine, but he was stammed out. Like, there was nothing, he was really done. Like, these guys would have grown, everyone else's damage would have grown, and his would have kind of peaked at around maybe 350. Alright, so what I want to look at right here is this is a noble fight. So what I was able to do is I saw the fencer spawned like here or something, and the mammoth spawned here. So the mammoth moved, rotated him. So I'm gonna try and see if maybe we can actually get those backline kills. But alright. First things first. We used rotate. We used rotates. We was not able to do this on his own. Alright. What I want to do is that is too bad that I went here instead of there. If I was able to there, I could have then lunged to here. So we weren't able to kill the Arbalister because I don't think you can control where the fucking zone of control takes you, which is too bad. I guess you could have walked up to, like, here maybe and done something with that. We'll have to see. But now, look, he's kind of in the back. I guess we'll give updates on how this goes. Alright, so we're gonna stab the hell out of this guy. Let's see if we can then hit the sergeant. Alright, so what do we do here? That was okay. Right, we have to be honest that we were already halfway stammed out. But we did decent damage to the sergeant. The only issue is that this is, like, kind of underwhelming. Like, wowed by that. That's not, like a regular duelist would have done more than that. So this is okay. Is this a success? He's killed 2 Arbalisters, but you know who killed the other Arbalisters? My crossbowman and my guy with a bow. That's who's killed the other Arbalisters. Like, okay. It's okay. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep this footman alive. We're gonna do no damage to this footman. We're gonna recover, and then we're gonna go and see if we can lunge at this footman right here. We'll see how much damage you can really do to a full-on footman. Maybe we can even do it to the knight afterwards, just for experimentation purposes. All right, here we go. 84% hit a full HP footman. Okay, pretty fucking good. Not gonna lie. Well, that was pretty fucking baller. All right, next up is gonna be the knight, I guess. All right, let's see this. Let's keep this out. Did a little tiny bit of armor damage, but whatever. Alright. Pretty good. Pretty fucking good, not gonna lie. Why can't I footwork? Only be used. Oh, because he's not fleeing. Okay. So, let's look at this. He got a headshot on a human enemy. Did half his HP. That's pretty strong. That's really good. Alright, let's do I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna have some fun. Alright. No. What I want to do is alright, we're gonna I guess I could have just walked out. Oh, there's no way to wanted to have some fun with that. Alright, sure. We'll just I was thinking we could maybe like footwork or something, but I guess not. Alright, run them down. Alright, so let's try some shit here. We could footwork. Want to footwork like into the fucking Necromancer? Alright, cool. Cool. I guess this is what we're doing. Remember, we're out of dodge. We don't have underdog. We're gonna get stunned, so we're gonna pass our turn. So if we get stunned, we're just gonna keep it. We're not gonna get stunned for next round. Problem is, there's no way we don't get maxed out on fatigue, and it takes 19 fatigues. If we had like Iron Lungs and 1, we'd be fine, and we'd be able to lunge and kill the Necromancer. But we can't. That's the thing. So we're. I guess if I had more stam, I guess I could have had more stam. I'm assuming I'm gonna get maxed out on stam from being swung at. If I don't get maxed out on stam from by being swung at, then I'm fine. So let's just see how that goes. Alright, so I want to note 2 things. 1, a guy with a hooked blade just moved me forward into him so he can die more. So great job to him. But 2, now we're breaking, and now we are surrounded entirely. So, okay, this is probably my bad. This is probably me playing like a moron. But, Necromancer, same thing with zombie fights. Like, this is what the, this is what you would do for a Necromancer, right? Is you would, like, go into them. So, remember how I've said previously, or maybe I'll say this later depending on how I organize these clips, is good luck getting to a Necromancer? Yeah, this is why. This is why good luck getting to a Necromancer, because you just get surrounded by zombies. And good thing these are Brigands. I don't think Brigands have Backstabber. I know zombies have Backstabber. Like, he's probably fucked. And if these were Ancient Undead with Fearsome, he'd be breaking and he'd get the shit kicked out of him. So now we have to go on a rescue mission for this guy. And we still haven't killed the Necromancer. Now, I guess what you could have done is you could have run all the way around. And so what you could do, like the fencer could have run up, could have run around, then he could have run over here and he could have stabbed the Necromancer. Well, it just so happens that I have created a build where you do that with a crossbow, so you just run around here, and then you can stop because you have a ranged weapon, and then shoot the Necromancer. You don't need to run onto him. So this build is objectively worse, especially because it doesn't have Pathfinder. If you have Pathfinder, maybe it's okay. But it's objectively worse than the Necrofucker build, where you run around and shoot him with a crossbow, because it just takes longer, and then you're engaged in melee. So for this build to work on a Necromancer, it has to just run in and do it. Because otherwise, you would just use the Necrofucker build. And since this doesn't work, then it's not viable to say, oh, you can just go kill a Necromancer. The thing is, he's so quick that you can't wait for the Brigands to act. You can't just be like, oh, I'll let them run forward. Like with the Necrofucker, he can just pass his turn, and the zombies will run in front, and then he can go around. But this guy is so damn quick. He acts before the Brigands, so he either misses a turn and then lets them run forward, or he has to like somehow just get surrounded by them because he has to act. He ends his turn here, then he runs in, and then they act, and then he passes, and then they act again. So he's screwed. It's just like it's not that viable. I guess on the bright side, he acts before the fucking raised zombie. And I guess he can fucking morale break everyone? Like, is that what we're relying on? We're relying on morale breaks? We're still gonna pass our turn. The good thing with fucking Relentless is you can pass your turn and not take an initiative penalty, which means you can always just pass your turn and then status effects like stunned or dazed or shit, you know, they don't occur as frequently. So, I mean, we've been able to rescue this guy. I guess he's just gonna kill this dude. We can maybe get on the Necromancer, depending if this guy flees. But, you know what I'm about to do? Is I'm about to just try and shoot him. Like, sure, I wasn't successful with my archer, but I wasn't successful with the fucking fencer. So we're basically equal at this point. The only difference is the archer isn't breaking and surrounded by 6 enemies. So who's the real winner? Alright, here's what's gonna happen to the fucking Necromancer, is I'm gonna stab him with a polearm. Alright, so, 7 turns, 11 turns, he might die. Good thing is here, we see, he got stunned, but he's just gonna pass his turn, so we're actually okay here. Which is not bad. Let me just stab these people. And we're just gonna wait and see what happens. Are we saved by morale? Are we saved by shitty brigand morale? I think we're saved by shitty brigand morale. I think that's what's saving us right now. The Necromancer can't fucking stop that. Oh, maybe he can. Maybe he fucking can. Alright. Oh, we had to kill that. Alright, wait, hold up. Come on. No! You were supposed to be able to run and oh, we didn't even kill the Necromancer. Yep. Well, morale saved us there. That wasn't the that was not the fencing build, which is too bad because it would be nice to be able to have a build that could just run up and kill Necromancers like that. But I don't think the fencer is that build. All right, taking a quick look at this. He did pretty bad, I guess. I mean, Hybrid did better. He did better. He got stunned for a round. He did okay, I guess. He didn't, but his job of killing the Necromancer didn't happen, which I guess is the problem. If you're, like, we saw earlier how you were able to just kill, Brigands. So using him normally still works fine. He still kicked the shit out of the Brigands. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bad Brigand killer. I'm saying he's bad at killing Necromancers, and which is indicative of there's like 4 or 5 actual enemies you would want to use the idea of bouncing and dancing through the enemy lines to kill. Like, that, it's the Necromancer, it's the, I guess, Arbalisters, if we're counting those, the Overseer, the Goblin Overseer, and Shaman, and, like, the Priest. That's, like, Engineers? Southern Engineers, maybe? I guess? Like, there's, like, a handful, and he can't do the Necromancer, and if he could, he'd just do it worse than the Necrofucker build. So, it's, like, kind of cool. Again, we're seeing it's just a luxury build, and it's not really that practical for anything other than just a fancy damage dealer. Alright, here's a chosen fight. Like, yeah, I could hit this dude, but is that something I really want to do? I guess. That was okay. I guess I could then footwork back. Like, I did a decent amount to the chosen. It's just like now there's other things I have to deal with. I think I'm just gonna footwork back. Like, but that's like a lot of stam for one hit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm scared to keep this dude here, like around these dudes. Like, I'm cool with letting, like, these frontliners, I don't want them getting hit, but if I'm okay with letting a chosen swing at them, like, that didn't do that much. This dude's gonna get destroyed. Like, the mace will lose his initiative, so he'll lose dodge. The cleaver's gonna screw him. The stagger removes the whole point of his initiative. Like, and the axes are just gonna decapitate him. Like, he's fucked. So this is really dangerous right here. I don't really want to bring this guy to a chosen fight right now. Alright, so he ended up the one guy he hit last time, he ended up shotting him with the second lunge. So we're gonna try another lunge. We're hopefully gonna kill this dude right here. I guess we didn't. Oh, I could have stabbed. Shit. And he's no longer taunted. Alright, problem. I didn't realize I had enough stam to continue doing that. Alright. Good. Didn't kill him. I guess we can always kill recover. Like, okay, let's put it like this. He's effective. I cannot deny that he is effective at killing the Chosen here. It's just like, do I really trust that he's not gonna die? That's a pretty fucking Alright, I mean, I guess we could try that again. But like, now what the fuck does he do? Just like stab him again? Like, I hope a fucking unhold doesn't get on him. Like, I don't really see the cool part of this build right here. Like, it's doing good damage. I'm not even gonna lie. It's like, that is 2 hits with a fucking fencing sword onto a Chosen, and it like half kills him and gives him an injury. I am like content. I'm content with that. What I'm not content with is like, why do I want that? Why would I want a build that is now completely out of stam in the second turn? Like, he would have probably killed the Chosen if he didn't miss the first one. But nevertheless, like, there's just not a lot of utility here. He's a novelty damage dealer. That is what the conclusion I keep reaching is. He's a novelty damage dealer that does a decent enough job. It's just like, I need more than that on my team. So, again, I'm kind of unimpressed. Alright, so this dude's, I guess this is what we're gonna try to do. We're gonna try and kill the fucking Reavers? Like, cool, you're killing the Reavers. Again, I don't really care. I guess I could footwork the back here, be completely out of stam, get surrounded, and then like try and go for the Beastmasters, but I have the unholds under control. So again, I'm not really getting much. Let's say I kill the Beastmasters. I already have to kill the unholds. Not much really changes. I'm glad he's rolling on 5s. That guy's rolling on a 9, but still, like, nevertheless, this isn't like, I'm just not very impressed, which kind of sucks because I would want to be impressed, but it's, again, I'm just seeing the novelty of it. It's not like, oh my god, I love this build. Fuck, shit, that was bad. But what you're seeing is now he's kind of stuck here. I guess he could lunge into this dude. I don't know. It's like, I'm not loving this build in this Chosen kind of fight. And these are the hardest fights in the game. So if I'm like, I don't know how much I can recommend a build where it's not good in this fight, and I would imagine the same thing in the big orc fights. In the sake of fairness, I'm going to look at the stats here, and like, he did 1,300 damage, and he got 4 kills. I will say 2 of those kills were on the fucking drummers, because at the end of the fight, he just ran up to the drummers and started stabbing them, and then half the damage was on a fleeing unhold. So, like, cool. Like, he did pure HP damage to those. So, yeah, he did really well, but I did not need this guy in this fight. Like, killing the drummers is unnecessary. So subtract, like, whatever the hell that ends up being, like 400 damage from the fight, and 900, which is a lot. Like, these 2 did a lot, he did a lot, he did a lot. The hybrids did even the fucking banner did 500. Like, everyone pulled their the mammoth did 500. They pulled their weight this fight. So this guy, it looks really good on paper, but I did not need this fencer in this fight. So you don't need him in this. He was like, he's been good to, he's been like unnecessary but okay to really good in these fights. That's what it is. He's never been like, oh my god, but he's never been bad. He's never been like straight up bad. So I have to give him some credit. I'm not saying this is by no means a bad build. Alright, everyone, I have recorded this. I've done all the clips and everything. I've played a lot. And I want to talk about I want to answer those questions, really. So, question 1, is this build fun? Yes. Very fun. It's very fun to just, like, destroy brigands and destroy, like, shitty noble units and destroy goblins. I love this build for that reason. For the fun aspect, totally worth it. But for me, when I say is this build fun, I mean, like, is it, like, quirky, fun, haha. I personally have a lot of fun by destroying and winning the hardest fights in the game, like 52 nobles. That was a video I did recently. That was fun to me. You can't, but, like, no way in hell would I ever bring a fencer to that build, to that fight. Sorry, no, never. I would rather go with 11. I mean, I guess I would rather bring the fencer than not bring anyone. But, like, that's a tough one right there, because the fencer would probably just die. This is like the hard fights, legendary locations. I don't think I'm bringing a fencer, or if I am, it's because it's hard, because it's not very good. I'm like, Mad Barbarian. Props to Puggo for beating the Mad Barbarian with the fencer. But the reason that's a cool video is because the fencer isn't very good. It's worse than everything else you could do, which is why that's like, wow, he did it with a fencer. If the fencer was like a real conventional strong build, no one would bat an eye, because that's just like, oh yeah, a fencer, cool. Like, if you did it with a duelist, everyone would be like, yeah, did it with a duelist. But with a fencer, you're like, oh, the fencer, doesn't that suck? Yeah, kinda. Question number 2, is this a novelty build, or is this something that you could really take into any company and use in any sort of fight? I've been saying it all video, really. No, I can't take this into any fight and have it be really good. It's a novelty build. It's a luxury build. It's fun, and it can work in some fights, and it won't work in other fights. Part of that problem, I think, is nimble. Like, going into long, drawn-out fights with 160 helmet and 211 armor, you're gonna run out of armor, and you can't actually afford to level HP, because you need to level. You actively need to be leveling initiative. You need to level melee attack. I guess you could drop melee defense. I wouldn't, but, like, you need to level initiative as much as you can. So taking shit, like, you can't, like, 75. I didn't level. He had 60. He max rolled HP, got 60. I took Colossus and was done with it. I don't want to give this guy a shit ton of HP because he needs all the initiative he can get. So, novelty build, yeah, like, he's good against brigand. He's, like, actively just, like, straight up good against brigands. He is good against, like, nobles. He's good against killing them if he can hit them. It's once you're in a line fight, he's not going to be able to lunge, or he's going to have to footwork and lunge a lot, and that's a lot of stam. But he's good at killing goblins. He was really good at killing those Chosen. He was surprisingly good at killing the Chosen. It's just like that. It was just really, like, you saw me. I get maybe, like, you know, he goes in, footworks back out, or he just, like, goes in and then just starts slashing. We've already talked about how slash is a shitty attack. So, and I didn't take him into orcs because he's not going to be good against orcs. He's going to be bad against orcs. He's surprisingly decent against Ancient Undead, but again, Ancient Undead is a line fight, just similar to nobles, and there's no arbalisters in Ancient Undead fights that you can go around and kill. You just sit there and start smacking. Like, there's better things to kill Ancient Undead. There's better things to kill orcs. There's better things to kill Barbarian Chosen. There's definitely better things to kill fucking Unholds, too. Like, that end of that fight, you didn't see it, but it was just like, he's just, like, sitting there, like, stabbing an Unhold, a Frost Unhold with armor with a fencing sword. It's like, it's just like, wow, I'm useless. So this is a pure novelty build. It is good. It is not a bad build, but it's just not something that you need. If I can only have 12 dudes in my roster, I'm not building a fencer. Maybe with, like, the Viper, the Gladiator, you could maybe make a fencer out of him, I think, or the Lion, whatever one has the initiative stars, you could probably make a fencer out of him. But, like, that's because he's built that way. You don't just take someone else and make them a fencer. And even still, it's just like, there's probably better builds you could be making with the Viper than this fucking fencing sword. So, question 3 is it good at killing those backline priority units? So, you know, he can be a novelty build all he wants, but, like, in a way, the Necrofucker is a novelty build. That's kind of a fun build. it's fun. You run around in the map and you shoot them, and then you do nothing because you're on the other side of the map and you have to run back. When the necrofucker does his job, like running around a forest, he doesn't do a lot of damage because he just shoots the necromancer, maybe kills a geist or two, and that's it. But that is like, that's really good, and the necrofucker works in other stuff. Like he is effective. We saw this in the necromancer clip. Is that this guy, he is not as good as the crossbow as the necrofucker build for running around because it takes longer than shooting him from like 6 tiles away. So for this build to work, you have to run in. Otherwise, you would just use the necrofucker build. And it was bad at running in. He got surrounded. We won. He didn't die, largely because of terrible brigand morale. So there's that. We saw he would have killed the goblin overseer. So fair. But that was weird. I don't know why they ran up. Sometimes they don't do that. Sometimes you won't be able to do that. I fought other goblin fights, and he wasn't killing overseers in like 2 turns. There was another goblin fight, and you saw that. So, ancient priests. I guess he could, similar to the necromancer. I think he's just gonna get surrounded and die. Especially with fearsome, he's just gonna die. He doesn't have underdog, and the ancient undead are just gonna surround him in a shield wall, and he's fucked because he's not gonna get out. He's going to die. He's gonna get miasma'd or something. He's screwed. What else could there even be? Arbalisters. He was pretty effective at killing the arbalisters. I'll give him that. And he did a shit ton of damage against the footmen in the night. It's just like there's better. Like I could already kill the arbalisters. That's the real core issue of this build. Is he doesn't do anything new. I can already do everything he's going to do with other bros. Like kill necromancers. I have a build designed to kill necromancers. To kill priests. Ancient undead fights, once you get really good dudes, can end in about 4 rounds. The priest is more annoying than he really is like a thing that needs to die. Arbalisters used ranged units. It's not that hard to kill an arbalister. My crossbowmen do it all the time. They did it in that very fight. You can watch it in the 52 noble fight. That I killed them all. I killed the arbalisters with my crossbowmen. Goblins, yeah, it takes a while to kill the goblins, but you can still get it done. And same things with like chosen with the footmen and the billmen, and the orc warriors. That's what I didn't picture. And like, there's better builds. There's better builds than the fencer, which is sad because that just keeps the fencer in this like, it's really quirky and cool, but it's not really like, it does nothing special. It's fun and it's like really cool to watch it work, and it does work. It's not bad. It's just there's better things out there. It's an opportunity cost. What are you not bringing when you bring the fencer? You're not bringing a two-hander. You're not bringing a real duelist as opposed to a fencing sword duelist. I'm not bringing this dude. I'm not bringing a polearm. One of my polearm crossbow hybrids. I love those guys. Those guys do more for me than like the fencer does. The fencer is similar to this flail axe guy. They're great against human enemies, and they're kind of a meme, but they're not like super great against like the really hard fights. The really hard fights are what I love in this game. The super, like the big enemies, the massive numbers, I'm overrun, I gotta work my ass off to win. And I would never bring this dude, and I would never bring the fencer to those fights, because the fencer just doesn't survive, and it's not his environment. Getting surrounded isn't the fencer's environment. The fencer's environment is surrounding other people. So in those really hard fights, I'm not bringing the fencer, which really limits the utility he's in. I see 15 brigands on the road and I'll bring a fencer. But okay, I can win that fight in 2 rounds, or I'm not going to take it because it's boring. So, as much as I hate to say it, and no hate, and all the love to people who like fencers, but it's a novelty build. It's okay. It's okay to like fun, but it's not very good. So would I recommend building a fencer? Yes. Build a fencer, have fun with it, find ways to make it good, because you can make it good. Do you need to start a new campaign and be like, oh my god, this is the fencer campaign, I'm gonna make 4 fencers? No. I would never make more than 1 fencer. I'd either make 1 fencer or I'd make 12 fencers for the meme. That's it. It's a meme. It's like a meme build. I hope you enjoyed this analysis. I hope you can take from it what you will and not hate on me because I find fun in a different way than some other people do. There's no hate on anyone who loves fencers. It's just I don't think it's very viable in the hard fights in the game. That's what I look to for enjoyment is those really hard fights. I'll see you guys around.